Good morning students, welcome to your computer class. In our last class we have completed chapter 4. Now in today's class we will start chapter 5. I don't know whether we can complete this chapter 5 in one day or not. If not, in our next class also we can continue with this chapter and try to finish this chapter. In this 5th chapter we will learn primitive values, wrapper classes, types and casting. Already we have learned these things in class 9. This is a revision of that. So let's start. So at first we will learn the different type of values used in Java. So Java data or value is called literal or constant. 6 type of literals are there in Java: integer literal, floating point literal, character literal, string literal, boolean literal and null literal. So integer literal means any integer value can be positive, negative or 0, like 0, -5, 16, 12, 19. These all are integer literal. Next one is floating point literal, is also called real literal, means the number having fractional part and point, like 0.0, -12.9, 15.76. These all are real literal. Next one is character literal, a single character, single symbol, can be a single alphabet or digit or symbol, like A, X, B, 9, dollar symbol, @ of symbol. Each of these literal we have to write in single quotes. So character literal always you have to write in single quotes. Next is string literal, which is a composition of character literal, set of character, like our school name VSN. 3 characters are there, and this string literal always you have to enclose in double quotes. We can use a set of digit also as a string, like 259. So if I write 259 in double quotes, so that 259 is no more a number. This is a string having 3 characters. Next is boolean literal. 2 values are there, true and false. These are keywords. That means you have to write this true and false in small letters. And last one is null. That means missing value or missing reference. So we have learned 6 literals. Now we will go to data types. So in Java we have 2 main data types. One is primitive data type, is also called basic or intrinsic data type. Another one is non-primitive data type, which is also called composite data type or reference data type. So in primitive category we have 2 type of data types. One is numeric data type, another one is non-numeric data type. In numeric category we have 2 data types. One is integer data type, another one is floating point data type. And in non-numeric data types we have again 2 data types. One is character data type, another one is boolean data types. So in integer data type we have 4 data types: byte, short, int and long. And in floating point category we have 2 data types: float and double. In character category we have 1 data type, that is char, and in boolean category we have another data type, that is boolean. So in primitive category, at the bottom of the hierarchy we have total 8 primitive data types: byte, short, int, long, float, double, char and boolean. Each of these data type has its size. Byte size is 1 byte, short size is 2 bytes, int size is 4 bytes, long size is 8 bytes. In floating point category, float data type size is 4 bytes and double data type size is 8 bytes. In character category, char data type size is 2 bytes, and in boolean category, boolean data type size is 1 bit, but it will reserve 1 bytes because byte is the smallest storage capacity. So you cannot reserve less than 1 bytes memory space in a memory. But in 1 byte memory area, only 1 bit will be used to store 0 or 1. Bit means 0 or 1, 2 digits, binary digits. Understood? So these 8s are primitive data type. Now in non-primitive data type we have many data types. Class is a non-primitive data type, array is another non-primitive data type, and one new data type we will learn in our syllabus, that is interface. So we will learn about this non-primitive data type in our later class. So what is the difference between primitive data type and non-primitive data type? Primitive data types are built-in data types. Java provides these fundamental data types, and non-primitive data types are derived data types created from one or more primitive or other non-primitive data types. The size of primitive data types are fixed. Anywhere in program we can use the fixed size primitive data type, and the size of the non-primitive data types are variable, as their size depends upon the members and elements of the non-primitive data types. Primitive data types are available to any Java program and in all parts of a program, whereas the availability of the non-primitive data types depends on their scope. Non-primitive data types are also called composite data types. Why? Because in non-primitive data type we can compose many different data types, primitive or non-primitive. Programmers can make the non-primitive data type according to their requirements in their programs. So string, class, array, structure, interface, these all are non-primitive data types, are also called composite data types. Now each of these primitive data type has a corresponding wrapper class. 8 primitive data types are there. For 8 primitive data types we have 8 wrapper classes. For byte wrapper class. For short wrapper class. For int integer wrapper class. For long wrapper class. For float wrapper class. for double wrapper class, for char character wrapper class, and for boolean wrapper class. So what is the main difference between data types and wrapper class? So all these 8 primitive data types are keywords, means we have to write them in small letter. But wrapper class, as their class, according to the convention, first letter of the class is capital. That means first letter of each wrapper class is in capital, and all other wrapper classes name are same as their primitive data types. So one wrapper class represents one primitive data type as an object and provides some functionality to handle this primitive data type in better way, generally for converting one data type to another data type, means primitive to non-primitive and non-primitive primitive data types. Understood? So I'm not showing anything, I'm not writing anything, because already we have learned these things in our class 9-10 syllabus, means ICSE syllabus. That's why this is nothing but a revision. You must have a book, follow the book to recollect everything. In this wrapper classes, 6 numeric wrapper classes are there: integer wrapper class, long wrapper class, float wrapper class, double wrapper class, byte wrapper class, and short wrapper class. In this all wrapper classes, we have 3 functions common. One is parse function, next one is value of function, and last one is toString function. The toString function of any of this wrapper class is used to convert a value which is represented by that wrapper class to string value, and parse function is used to convert a string value to the data type which is represented by that wrapper class. Like if it is integer wrapper class, it represents which data type? Int data type. The toString function of integer wrapper class is used to take one integer parameter and it converts that integer value to string value. And parseInt function of integer wrapper class is used to take one string value to convert that string value to integer value if it is possible. That means if the string consists of all digits, then only it is possible to convert the string to number, otherwise it is not possible, and it will generate one error message. And value of function is another function which is used to convert a string value to wrapper class type. Like integer class value of function takes one string value and it converts the string value to integer value, means it converts the string value to int and it returns the reference of that int value as an integer object. Understood? So this like parse function, value of function, and toString functions are present in all these 6 wrapper classes. They are byte, short, integer, long, float, and double wrapper classes. In character wrapper class, we have many functions, like 2 uppercase and 2 lowercase of character class is used to convert a character to uppercase and to lowercase respectively. Then is uppercase and is lowercase of character wrapper class is used to check one character is in uppercase or not, character is in lowercase or not. Another one is digit function to check the character is digit or not. One is there is white space to check the character is space or not. Another one was there is letter or digit to check the character is letter or digit or not. And all these is functions return true or false, and 2 functions return character. So all the functions of wrapper classes are static functions. That's why we use class name to call them, like integer.parseInt, integer.toString, character.isLetter, character.toUppercase. So everywhere we are using class name to call. We don't use object name to call this, and no need to create object also to call the functions of these wrapper classes. Understood? Now we will learn what is expression. An expression is a series of variables, constants, operators, and method call statement that will be executed as a single statement. So this is a legal combination of operator and operands that produce a result. Now different type of expressions are there: pure expression and mixed expression. So pure expression means all the operands or values used in the expressions are of same types, and mixed expression means different type of values are used in one expression. Now we will learn type conversion. So in Java, we can convert one primitive type to another primitive type, like byte to short, short to int, int to float, double to int. So these are type conversion, means this is a process of converting one data type to another data type. So there are 2 types of type conversion. One is implicit type conversion, is also called intrinsic type conversion. Another one is explicit type conversion, is also called forced type conversion or typecasting. So type conversion is required when one expression contains 2 different type of values. So Java cannot execute an expression with 2 different type of values. So they need to be converted in one single type. Then only Java can execute that expression. Now implicit conversions are the conversions from one data type to another data type which occurs automatically in a program by the compiler. If 2 data types are computable data types and the destination type is larger than or equal to the source data type. So source data type is the data type which will convert, and destination data type means the data type to which the source data type will be converted. The compiler performs this type of implicit type conversion invisibly implicitly. Like int to long conversion is implicit conversion. Float to double conversion is implicit conversion. Integer or long to double or float conversion is implicit conversion. Because double, float, these all are higher data type than int and long data type. Actually, the implicit type conversion is type promotion. This is also called coercion. Now explicit type conversion, which is called typecasting, is very important. This is the forced type conversion. Explicit type conversions are the conversions from one data type to another data type which does not occur automatically in a program. It includes the conversion of data according to the user specification. That means we programmer will specify to which data type a value will be converted. Example of explicit type conversion is float to integer conversion. Float is higher type, integer is lower type. So float cannot be converted automatically to integer data type. But if we need to convert a float value to int value, that time we have to use the typecasting. Like here we need to convert float value to int value. That means we have to write int in parentheses. Now to convert a double data type to int data type or to float data type, before double value we have to write int or float data type in parentheses. So this required data type in parentheses is worked as a machine through which when the data will pass, it gets converted to that data type. So this is to convert one data type to another data type, which is specified by the programmer. That's why it is called forced type conversion. Now what is the main difference between implicit type conversion and explicit type conversion? In implicit conversion, one data type is converted to another data type automatically and implicitly by compiler. And in explicit type conversion, one data type is converted to another data type explicitly according to the user specification, means programmer specification. In implicit type conversion, the destination type is larger than or equal to the source type, and in explicit type conversion, the destination type is smaller than or equal to the source type. So today up to this much. We will complete this chapter in our next class. You must read this chapter from your book. So till our next class, bye, have a nice day.